everyone, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're continuing with our Newcrest build. As a lot of you guys know, I've been working on creating a Newcrest save file with lots of different homes in here and families, using different packs from The Sims 4, no custom content, ready for you guys to download once it's done and put in your games. So today we're working on this row of terrace houses right here. This student house we did in our last build, and then this terrace house next to it is what we're going to be working on today. And I've also created the Yuchun's family, and they reside here, so I'll tell you a little bit about the family that I've moved in and the modern extension we put on this house as well. And also, I really need a haircut. I haven't had a haircut for like 8 weeks because hairdressers have been closed, so my space bun is my look for the foreseeable future. All right, so jumping into our build today. As I said, we're continuing these terrace houses, and some of you guys might be a bit confused as to why every lot has this same looking house, and that's because I wanted to recreate what we have a lot of here in Australia, in Melbourne, Sydney, some in Adelaide. Basically, when a lot of the Brits first settled here in Australia and continued to settle here, a lot of these Victorian homes were built kind of side by side. And they're now quite expensive in most areas because they're seen as, well, I suppose the aesthetic of them, a lot of people really like. And you also have to maintain the facade of them and protect that historic look of them. So if you want to renovate them or paint them, you have to get special permissions. And if you want to put a modern extension on them, which a lot of people do around here, you also need to get permission to do that. So I thought it would be really fun to create a row of these terrace houses. The ones on the left, we turn them into a library and a cafe. This one, we're going to put a modern extension on the back for a family who lives here, and it's like a real family-friendly home. And then the student one we did last time, that really just kept all of the original features. It needs a good renovation. It was meant to look really old. So I thought this one would be a nice fresh approach, and I would love in real life to be able to afford one of these terrace homes and then be able to afford to renovate it. I think they are really stunning homes. And I think the contrast between the old and the new of these terrace homes when modern extensions are applied to them is really, really interesting. And often, I don't know if it's because you're required to keep the front of the house more or less the same, or just people just put the modern extensions on the end so they don't change much of the interior of the front. Usually when you walk in the front door, they have like original archways, original fireplaces in the first few rooms, roses, like ceiling roses around the lights, which I wish we had in The Sims 4. That would be cool. But yeah, and then you walk out to the back of the house, and that's where they can become really modern and people put new, fresh kitchens in and living areas. And usually there's a corridor on one side of the house leading to the back of the house, with rooms on one side. That's generally kind of the original interior design of the house because they're so long and thin on these really long and thin blocks. I don't know why they made them so long and thin. Maybe that's just because in the UK, that's how a lot of the lots are, to kind of squeeze more houses on. I don't know, and they just applied it in Australia. But that's typically what they are like. And the 2-story terrace homes are very expensive in Melbourne and Sydney. So typically you're going to be looking at paying a lot even to lease an older one. They will be more expensive than leasing a different kind of home. So yeah, lots of fun though to create them in The Sims and just do whatever we want and pretend like we had the money to do that. So yeah, this is pretty much what the house is looking like. We had a pinky house and a cream and green color scheme on the left-hand side. This one's going to be blue. On the right-hand side, I did this student house after I did this house, and I totally forgot that I had footage of building this. And in the last video, you guys were like, where's this other house? So I did build the student house after this, and that was like an orange colored house. So the blue I thought would have been repainted to look really nice, lots of whites. And because we've kept darker floorboards in the orange one and most of the original floorboards in the pink house on the left, I thought it would be fun to go with some lighter floorboards because you know your girl loves some light floorboards. So we're gonna go with that. In terms of the packs that we're using today, a lot of you guys know that for these Newcrest builds, what I'm trying to do is, originally I was going to do an all base game so anyone could download it and put it in their games. However, I was kind of like, if all of my builds on the channel are all base game, it's gonna get a bit boring after like our 5th build. So for every build, we're restricting the packs we use to about like 3 or 4 packs that we're using, including either expansions, game packs, or stuff packs. So for this one, or for all of these terrace houses, we've used Strangerville just because they have such great Victorian build assets. Like the windows are perfect, the doors, the spandrels, the columns, the fencing, they all look so good and true to this aesthetic. So we're definitely using that. In the uni house, the student house that we built, we used obviously university, but in this house, we're not going to be using that one. I thought because it was more of a modern design, we would use some eco living or lifestyle. Oh, I always forget the eco one. I'm gonna Google it right now because I can never remember. Eco, I think it's eco lifestyle, right? Eco lifestyle? Yes, it is like eco lifestyle, not living. It's city living. Oh my gosh, biggest disappointment ever. I thought this piece of paper was chocolate sitting there. Bummer. So this is the modern extension we're doing. I thought it would look a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more interesting to have the extension come off on an angle. I'm really into angled builds at the moment in Sims 4 just because they're more interesting and they're often more of a challenge to furnish. And I love them. One of the reasons why I loved, and probably my most favorite build anyone's done in The Sims 4, this is gonna sound soppy, but is James's build from The Sims 3. It was called, he's a Lunar Island beach house, I think. It was like this big beach house for his family. And back in the day, one of my first videos, like my 3rd video or 4th video, was renovating it. I loved it so much because there was so much open living space with so many like diagonal walls and walkways. I just thought it was all very simple though. It wasn't like too over the top, but I just loved that floor plan so much. And I don't know, there's something about angled builds. I think it's just in The Sims though. I'm not really into it in real life, but in The Sims I like it. So we're using some eco lifestyle, apologies. And also it kind of utilizes the width of the block a little bit more, because if we just kept it really straight and narrow, there would be all of this stuff on the left, like land that we haven't used. And this means that we kind of use a bit more of it. And then we can put a deck out on the side too. So yeah, I thought this was kind of cool. It's going to have like a nice outdoor balcony with some AstroTurf. I wanted it to be really family friendly as well. So the idea for the family that lives here, the dad is, well, the parents are adults, so they're not young adults, but they have young kids. So my idea was if they existed in real life, they would have put their careers first, which a lot of people are doing nowadays, especially because the cost of living and having a family is so much more than it was. A lot of people just need to work longer before they have a family. So there's a lot more older parents, and also because of the technology with having a baby and lowering the risks of having kids when you're older means that it's more, you know, there's less risks involved if you are older with a pregnancy. So basically I thought that these 2 Sims were very career driven. They needed and wanted to have really stable careers and good incomes before they had a family. So they waited until they were adults to have kids. Now they have a child and a toddler. And yeah, I'd say they're a little bit older and professionals, young family. They live in this amazing home because they've done all of the hard work. And yeah, I think it looks nice. I think the dad is in the business career, but his aspiration is to be a best-selling author. So he's kind of been in a career to make the money to support his family, but his heart's never been in it. He would really love to be a little bit more creative. So maybe if you wanted to play this family, if you downloaded the save game, you could kind of play out his life of being torn between making the big money or taking a risk and not having that income and becoming a freelance writer instead, or maybe just writing a book on the side, and as his books take off, he's able to leave his current job and retire as a writer, something like that. So that's nice. And then his wife is a teacher, so the idea for her would have been that she went into teaching knowing that she would be able to look after the kids, have the time off, and then go back to teaching afterwards. So she's a teacher, which I think really suits her. And the couple, they're both really, I have to say, they're quite attractive Sims. They're really, really attractive Sims. They're of Chinese backgrounds, and they have really nice fashion sense. It's kind of a little bit more conservative. It's definitely more conservative, like more corporate looking fashion sense, but they know how to dress well. They're you know, they're kicking goals in life, okay? And so I think that this house really reflects that. And one of the reasons why I love making families for houses is because I have so much fun telling the backstory. And I think it makes the building so much more fun when when you get to make it for a certain family or give a storyline. Or one of the things I want to do on the bigger lots in this Newcrest world is have a huge modern mansion or maybe a classic mansion. I was originally going to do a modern mansion, but I'm kind of leaning towards more of a classic mansion because, number one, it could go with the mayor's house really nicely, that more colonial look that we built. But also I thought it would be cool for them to have like old money, but it's like dirty old money. So they have like a dodgy basement downstairs or something like that. I don't know, something real dodgy. And I thought it would be cool if the grandmother lived with them still, because it was her house and then her daughter or son inherited it and now their family are living there. Something like that, and the grandma's kind of evil. Maybe the whole family's a bit evil and like one of their kids is nice. I don't know. I mean, what's a deli? What is a deli save file without a little bit of tea? I just wanted to use that. So far we're still only using base game and Eco and Strangerville. So the tiles, the flooring are from Eco, the lights from Eco, the rest of the stuff is from base game. I think we're also going to use, I think we end up using maybe backyard stuff. From memory, we put a spa in, I think. So we might use backyard stuff back. And I'm thinking of, I don't want to make too many promises because I just got to see if I have the time to do this, but I would love to make it all base game compatible as well if I had the time to just go through it and make it a base game save file too. That would be really good. So yeah, just doing the kitchen. I thought lots of open shelving was nice. I love having all of the books on the left-hand side. With any of these builds, it's always good to have the move objects on sheet, as a lot of these objects are being placed with move objects, such as the books on the shelf. Always good to turn that on before you load builds. And that bowl is from Eco Lifestyle too. Classic sunflower base game print. I feel like we need more prints. And like I said before, the front of the house, I want it to look like it's the old part of the house. So we still have that old archway there. And we're going to have an older fireplace. So we're kind of sticking true to what it originally looked like in the front of the house. And right now this is the modern extension. So all of this would have been new walls, new flooring, new windows, sliding doors. So there's a lot of eco stuff in here. And I actually really love how this floor plan turns out. We are going to change things up quite a bit. From memory, it took me a long time to figure out where the dining table was going to go, where the lounge room was going to go, and how it was all going to work. Because working with a diagonal room, it always, well, not always, but in this instance, and like I often find diagonals are a lot more difficult to figure out how you furnish them. It's kind of like when people have rounded walls and curved walls, it's really hard to do the furnishing, especially if all of your furnishing is like straight grid-like furniture. Like you kind of need curved furniture to make it look really good, I think. So, when the more creative it gets, the more creative you gotta be. That's right. And then right now, I think I was changing the music in the game or raising the music or something like that. So right now I am not loving that rug. We are going to change the rug up, and we're gonna totally change where the dining table is as well. It does not end up being here. And it has 3 bedrooms, I think. We've got 2 living spaces. So there's going to be like the family living space or the rumpus living space, which is right here next to the dining table. The idea is because this is such an inviting, friendly home, you know, where you cook, where you eat, where you lounge around, the kids can be. They can play, you can watch them while you're cooking, you can sit at the dining table whilst they're watching TV and keep an eye on things, or they can come to you if they want to be near you. Like, it's all very open to full family living. Whereas the other room at the front of the house, which is a little bit more private and closed in, the traditional part of the home, that's going to be more of a formal living area, or just probably where the kids wouldn't, or everyone wouldn't spend as much time. Although I've heard a lot of people who have kids, they try and create these adult-only spaces where it's like their space, and the kids end up spending most of their time in there anyway, because they like it as much as you do. So I think I'm also looking at city living right now, so maybe we're putting city living in. And I'm also seeing get to work, so I'm just trying to remember what packs we ended up using, as I did do this a little while ago. I'm pretty sure we keep to eco lifestyle for most of this build. And I have to say, those pendant lights have been growing on me. I originally was a bit like, it took me a while to get on board with them, but I think I like them a lot more now. I tend to reach for them a lot just because they are a nice orb shape. In saying that though, I wish they came with an orb shape without the leaves. I feel like they would have been a little bit more versatile to have a plainer version, just because we don't have an orb pendant like that. We do, but it's like from base game and it's really short. You don't have the long ones, which are much nicer. So now we've pretty much figured out the floor plan. So this is what I was telling you guys about, like having this more family friendly lounge room, and I tried putting it on an angle as well, but in the end I thought, I think I found it to be a little bit too awkward, and I'm pretty sure we changed it back to how it was. Oh yeah, so I did, and then I skipped ahead because I forgot to press record. So we will see that full family room in the grand reveal at the end of this video when we go back to it. This is just to the left, just to the right of the kitchen and playroom. And we have used the awning from Toddler Stuff Pack. Toddler Stuff Pack awning, I think this was the only item I used in that pack, just because I thought it was a nice addition. But of course, if you don't have toddler stuff and that awning isn't in this build, it's not like the end of the world. I just thought it was a nice addition if you do have that pack. And now we're working on the front room where you walk in, and this is the older part of the house. So this, I wanted to be a combination of the old facade. Think of it like a milkshake you've just put flavoring into, and all the flavoring's kind of on the top and it's dripping down. So the old is the flavoring dripping into the milkshake. So you kind of want to start off with the home old at the front. It drips down a bit more to be both old and new in this lounge room. And then by the time you get to the bottom of the milkshake, it's all milkshake. It's all modern at the back. Was that a good analogy? I feel like it was. And yeah, putting in some more items from Eco. You can see we did use backyard stuff because all of that stuff on the deck is backyard stuff pack. We've got some planters in there. I think this looks really nice. It looks like we've got a knitting hanging plant in there. Again, if you don't have knitting stuff pack, it's only one decor item, so it's not gonna be the end of the world if that's not there, but a nice addition. But yeah, mostly Eco. I think Eco Lifestyle was a really good expansion. It's actually taken me a while to really say that, I think. I think at first I was like, yeah, I like Eco Lifestyle. Like when I was reviewing it, I really liked it. I liked the items, but I wasn't like fully into it. Like I felt like it was a good, strong pack, but it wasn't for me. But I've just realized I use it so much in my builds now. I really like it. And I had a lot of fun when we were playing it as a Let's Play. I thought it was really fun. So you know, it's grown on me. It's definitely been a pack that's grown on me. I am looking forward to some new content though. And when I said this was the formal lounge, I have gone ahead and put in a kid's couch there, or a kid's chair, because it's just so cute. And a few little decor items there. I guess it does make it look a bit more family friendly now. And come on, if it's the first room you walk into in the house, your kids are gonna be in there, because it's not like it's at the back down a few doors. Your kids are gonna run home from school, run through the door with their dirty shoes probably on, dump their bags on the couch. Like that, it's never gonna remain a formal room at the front of your house, is it? And then we're moving upstairs in just a second. And I think the upstairs area is nice. It's full of bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. So this home, like I said, they have 2 kids. They have a toddler and a child. I don't think I did too much character development for those kids. I just kind of thought they'll find themselves as they get older. So these rooms for the kids are going to be pretty basic once we've done the hallway. But I think the layout, again, is really good. Like, if this was a home in real life, I think it would be very functional living. And in The Sims, it's very functional. Like, I think your Sims are gonna find it really easy to route around the house and get to what they need to. It's definitely not a difficult build for them to get around in. And I guess it is because it's pretty basic, but with the modern extension, it just provides that extra bit of space that the other houses don't have. And I thought some monkey bars out the front were kind of cute as well. So yeah, we're just doing a few chairs, you know, out on the balcony, a few skill building objects that you can obviously change, but these are just base game ones, like the easel, the bonsai tree, which I don't really use that bonsai tree very often, but I feel like it is quite handy because it ups your gardening skill, doesn't it? I should really utilize that more. This is my favorite toddler bed. I thought it was such a gorgeous design from Eco Lifestyle. Super cute. And I love the idea of using the red from this bed and the yellow as inspiration for our color palette. The cushion also has a little bit of blue on it. So red, yellow, blue are already colors that could really easily work in this room because it ties into that core object that sits there. And I always think it's nice to have an armchair near a toddler's bed because I feel like the parent could put them to bed, read in the chair next to them. Yeah, I just like putting that in the toddler room or the baby room. And, you know, it would have been a really nice animation to do the breastfeeding sitting down, I think. You know how, wait, when they breastfeed babies in The Sims 4, they pick them up and stand up, don't they? It would be nice to be able to breastfeed the baby in the rocking chair. Oh, that's right. We used the nifty knitting rocking chair. So I did sneak another nifty knitting item in there because come on, the rocking chair next to a toddler's bed would be so cute. And I kind of love the idea of having this wallpaper in the room too. It's very gentle and calming, but it's still a fun, I don't know. I always feel like this pattern looks very kid friendly. It reminds me of kids' pajamas. I mean, it reminds me of my pajamas, let's be honest. And I like that the nifty knitting shelf mirrors the shape of that bookshelf too. I thought that was nice. And yeah, lots of toys, shelves, all of those kitty things in the room all make sense. And then over here is going to be the kids' room. The other thing I really like about this floor plan is that the 2 kids share the bathroom and they have a door each to the bathroom. I thought that worked pretty nicely. And due to a base game update, you can now stack windows. I know that not everyone knows about that still, so you can stack windows on top of each other, which is good. And then this room obviously needed to be more appropriate for slightly older kids. So we have the kids bed or the teen bed or the adult bed, whatever you want. It's a size up from the toddler bed and a study nook area here. It's very neutral in personality, just so you can move whatever family you want in here or tell whatever story you would like to. So it is meant to be, I guess it is slightly more on the bland side, but I think it's also still nice. It's just simple. A couple of toy boxes, toys, nifty knitting toys there as well. If you don't have nifty knitting, you're going to miss out on a couple of decor objects in the rocking chair, but again, easy enough to replace, I think. There's no like real key objects here that we've used. It really is base game and eco lifestyle. And the llama, I love that llama toy, that's cool. That's nice. My tummy is making really weird sounds. I don't know if you could hear that, but it's like gurgling away. I had some eggs for breakfast. I'm kind of like, ooh. The eggs are about to hatch, if you know what I mean. And then this is the parents' room. I actually really love having that window slightly to the left. Like it's kind of asymmetrical balance with the painting next to it. I think that works, and I love asymmetrical balance over symmetrical balance. So it's funny because I know it frustrates a lot of you not having things symmetrical, but I still think things look lined up even when they're not symmetrical all the time. So yeah, basically this is the house we've finished. Some more hanging plants I'm sneaking in there. You can tell that I like the hanging plants. But anyway, let's jump into the actual game and tour this house and show you guys how it all turned out. Okay, welcome to our house. So, oh, look at the library and the cafe. They're all ready for, it looks like Love Day. And so is this house. So these terrace houses look really nice. They'll look really nice at Christmas time. But anyway, this is their house. So we have the traditional versus modern. Let's go through the front door and look at our, well, it was going to be a more formal living area, but it's obviously not. So it's merging both the old and the new, which I think has turned out really nice. Before we check out that area out the back, this is the little bathroom. Again, we've stacked some windows there. It's all very simple. It's got a little toddler training area. Moving through here, this is our big modern extension. So we've got a beautiful kitchen, very functional, I think, easy to get around in. We also have so much space for the kids to play here, which is really nice. There's a little tea party going on. The parents having some time outside with the toddler. This is a more family-friendly looking space with lots of nice colorful furnishings around the place as well, which I often don't do. I don't have kids, so I'm not really familiar with how much your house changes from having kids, but I felt like putting some kids' pictures around the TV and a little kids unit over there was really nice. And then we've also got this dining area, so that's pretty good. If you go out here to the other side, there is a hot tub. We've got a nice little lounge area. I call hot tubs sad pools, probably because I'm jealous because I don't have one. And then there's lots of planters here that you can start up as well. They must have plans to have a little veggie patch when work settles down. And then this is the little outdoor area, which they're already enjoying with the barbecue. It's nice that there's two separate balconies, I think. Coming up the staircase, there is another balcony area out here. There's actually an abundance of outdoor living with more spaces, a little fire pit out there that you can use. So there's a lot of room for skill building or even more bedrooms being added on if you wanted to. And here's the little toddler's room. Lots of natural light. You can go through this door, and this is the kids' share bathroom with the rubber duckies. Rubber ducky. This is the kids' room. Very neutral, but still, I feel like there's enough mess around the place to make it look like a legit kids' room. Oh, there's a little bit of wallpaper mishap happening there. And then this is the parents' room. So yeah, it's not like the biggest room by any means, but it fits what it needs in it. And again, another balcony. How many balconies? And they, of course, have their bathroom here too, with one of the traditional bathtubs that probably came with the house originally. So let me know what you think of this house. If you'd like to download it, I'll put it on the gallery, so you can do that. Just make sure to search for builds including custom content. My username's Deligracy. It doesn't have any custom content in it, but the gallery always flags me for having builds with custom content. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to speak to you soon. Dag dag!